Hi guys, PJ here. Today we are removing the stereo from a Corsa C. It's the silver dashboard one, so you're going to need some bits and bobs to make everything fit in. There's your part number for the trim, made by Auto Leads. The part number being FP1900S, the S denomination for silver. If it was a black one, it wouldn't have the S on the end. Okay. You can also get a grey colour and like a champagne colour as well, depending on the colour of your dashboard. You're going to need a wiring adapter, PC285-4, which is this one here, and it comes complete with aerial adapter. And in this car we're fitting a Sony Bluetooth radio. You're going to be needing, to get the original radio out, this type of release key, the big ones, yeah. And we basically pop those in the little holes. So we'll just move all this clutter out of the way. There we go. And you quite literally grab hold of these things, shove them in the holes. Now, if your holes have got something in them, little grub screws, yeah, you're going to need a little tiny Allen key, and you just unwind the tiny grub screws. So if you can't shove these in, it means the radio's probably never been out before in its life, okay? Little grub screws in there, just put an Allen key in, wind them out, take them out, put them somewhere safe, and then you can shove your keys in. Shove them all the way in until the click, yeah, so they're sort of fully home. And then basically spread them apart from each other, so pull them that way, yeah, away from each other. So spread them, yeah, and then the radio will come out. I have actually put these in and clicked this forward because doing this one-handed is very difficult, but just pull them to one side. Hang on, get the key in. If you don't get the key in all the way, it does that. Sometimes you have to give them a bit of a tap. Don't be afraid to give it a tap, you know, and we'll just pull the radio out. Okay, so there we go, and out it comes. There you go, on the back of your radio everything comes out. Look, the cage is left in. You get a cage in there, look, like so. There's normally a little TX20 screw in here, okay, to remove. This one's been out in the past, so the screw's missing, no one's bothered replacing it. What you've got to do now is push these little pins in on the blue thing and push it through, so it's out of the way, look, there you go, it's loose. Now this car's on the changeover year, and it's actually got the earlier audio connector on the back. Now you've got to get the cage out, so just bend the cage, you know, you can bend it back into shape, it's not an issue. Squeeze it and pull. Yeah, dead easy. Once you've got that screw out the back, don't forget about that. Sometimes it gets stuck at the top there, so we'll just get the cage out and then show you the aerial connector. There we go, as if by magic, the cage fully out. All you've got to do is pull that round, two squeezy tabs on the end of it, squeeze them together and the aerial comes out. Dead simple. So you're left with a three-way block, the bottom two there being power, speakers, and the top one, if you've got steering controls like that, they work the steering controls, you know, for volume up and down and stuff. If you're not bothered about those, you don't have to worry about this third block, it's just these two. Right, at this point you now want to be looking at getting all your wiring out and plugging it all in. Okay, so a little update to this one then. This car's actually on a 54 plate, so it's on the changeover year for when they swap the wiring from the older version to the later version. Now on the older version, which was once turned out to be, you use the original cable that come with the radio, like so, which plugs straight onto the little, there you go, the blue connectors, yeah? So these two here, these black ones, plug straight onto these two blue ones, which I'll show you. What you've got to do is swap round the yellow and red wires. They're on bullet connectors, so you need to go yellow to red and red to yellow. I'll show you that now. Okay, so we'll swap the red and yellow wires round. Yeah, there you go, yellow to red, red to yellow. And that is basically so that the radio stores its memory when you switch the ignition off, okay? So you won't lose your radio stations or your bass treble settings, etc, etc. Right, we clip them on, look, they just clip on like so. And we put a cable tie around them to hold them in place because they don't sort of stay too well on these particular cars. I always do that as just a safety precaution. Now with it being the earlier model, instead of the later one, which we originally had the wiring for, you're going to need a different aerial adapter. You need this one, PC527H, and that's an Auto Leads part number, and it quite literally plugs in the end of there, look, quite simple. Now with these Corsas, you can normally tell if they're the early or late model by looking at the key. If it's a flat key, like that one, where it's flat down the edges, it's generally the later wiring. If it's jagged down the edges, like an old-fashioned normal key, yeah, like jagged edges, that's the earlier wiring. The only thing is this car's on the changeover year and, well, basically the factory used whatever parts they've got lying around. So you got a 90% chance of smooth key, later wiring, jagged key, earlier wiring. This car, not the case. It's the other way around. But it is, it is a rarity that. So bit of general guide there. Right, we're just going to fit the outer out of fascia now and everything. Nice and easy, it just slides over. I'll show you that bit. So you get your trim, your plastic that you've got, feed your wires through the middle. We've got that little aerial adapter on there. Look, that just push fit, just shove it in. And the fascia does the same, it's just a push fit. So you just basically get it in place and click, plunge. There we go, all the way around, and that's in. Yeah. Make sure your corners are clicked in there. Job done. Yeah. So that's it. That's all you do with that. The next thing you've got to do is take the metal frame from the radio by sliding it off, and then feed your wires through, don't get anything trapped. Yeah. Shove it in the hole that your trim's got, just like so. You get yourself a little tiny flat blade screwdriver, yeah, and you'll notice there's some little lugs at the side. Put it behind the lug and just twist, and it'll twist the lug from behind the plastic so that nothing sort of falls out, and you know, you need it nice and safe when you're driving around. You don't want it coming out while you're driving along and all of a sudden you got a catastrophe on your hand. So just do a couple. There we go, with it all put in correctly. Now all you've got to do is plug in your power plug into your radio and plug your aerial plug in. Nice and straightforward, and then we'll give it a quick test. Okay, so to test the radio, just sort of slide it in, not all the way, so you can get it back out again if need be, if it doesn't work properly. Put your key in, yeah, put the ignition on there, position 1. Your radio should come on, which yes it has. Turn yourself a preset in, anything will do. Let's just program that, there we go. So that's programmed in, yeah, it's on number 5 there. Turn the ignition off and make sure it stores it. That beeping sound reminding you there to take the faceplate off on a Sony, which actually also tells you that it is wired correctly, but still. We'll just put it back on and it should come back onto the preset radio station. Yes, it does. Once you've got that in place, you are free to just shove it home. There you go. And that is how you fit a radio on a Corsa C. If this video was any help at all, please click like on your way out, and thank you very much for now. Goodbye.